Hello everybody and welcome to the campus of Nashua High North. I'm John Collins along with Tom King. We are courtside. Our cameraman Tim O'Neill is perched above midcourt in the stands, which is once again sparsely populated, but I'd say a few more people than we've seen during the course of the season, Tom. The excitement is ratcheting up for the playoffs.
John, if this was a normal situation, this place would be buzzing. They would probably have guards around us to keep everybody away.
Yeah.
The students would be right here for North. They'd be screaming. The Bishop Guertin students would be right behind the bench over there. They'd be screaming. And one Nathan Kane would be the target of abuse from the Nashua North students because he transferred after playing 3 years in the Titan program to Bishop Guertin, and he's a senior with the Cardinals this year. Transferred for 1 year because he didn't want to do remote learning. He wanted to be in class, and Guertin's mostly been in class. So
let's check in with Steve. Posters.
Yep.
Okay, Tom, you got interrupted from telling that particular story in the last game about the reason why Nathan Kane transferred, and I was struck by kind of how unusual a reason that is to leave because it's a pandemic-related reason.
Well, I had a story
right?
out of today on NashvilleTelegraph.com. I talked to him extensively about a week and a half ago, and he said that up to 2 weeks before school started, he didn't think he was going to transfer. But when they made the decision that it was going to be remote learning, for at least for part of the year, he just did not want to go through that again. He did not enjoy it last spring. I think his mom is Stephanie Kane, who was the former Stephanie Bird, who played for John Fagula and that great Nashua basketball team in 1987. So
I don't blame him.
And that's what they want. They wanted to do it that way, and they wanted to get the academics at BG for that 1 year because they felt it would be better for him than the remote learning, and he felt that way too. So now the question is, the funniest thing about it was, the kids all talk. They all know kind of, ahead of time what's going to happen. So they were telling John Fisher at Guertin, hey, coach, we may get Nate Kane this year. And John Fisher's response to them was, no, I'm never that lucky. So it's an interesting story, and it would have been a huge thing tonight with the fans and everybody screaming and yelling and the whole bit.
Yeah, you painted a good picture there of what would be going on normally.
It would have been, and it still is. A lot of people follow it. Now we're going to have another 5-minute warm-up after they did the senior stuff. So
yeah,
this is look. We're very lucky. With Pete Johnson's right here, we're very lucky we're able to do these games. Obviously, it's a great service to the community who want to watch it, and we're very lucky we have these games this winter because you never knew, you didn't know. And this is one of the marquee games. We did a marquee game the other day when we did BG Hanover girls hockey. We've had games that have been memorable for this winter. And don't forget, a year ago, we were about a week and a half away from having everything just shut down. A year ago.
The curtain came down around March 12th. Including nullifying Bishop Guertin's chance to repeat as state champions in basketball, something that we expect them to have a shot at again this year. Of course, the girls from Bishop Guertin are cream of the crop. The boys are making a bid, though, this year.
You know what's the most incredible thing about the boys' team is the fact that they will end this season playing 18 games, which is a regular season.
That's remarkable, really.
No one has really done that.
I mean,
they're 13-4 coming in.
There's some teams that didn't play at all, right?
There's a couple, I think. Well, I don't know. I got to go through the schedule to see. There's some teams that only played 5, 6, 7 games.
Yeah.
Nashua North only played 10.
Right. 18 games BG got in.
18
Well,
games.
that's part of the reason. I mean, I got to catch up the article, but Nathan Kane probably told you he was happy he made the move, right?
Yeah. No, he said he's very happy. He fit right in.
Yeah.
John Fisher loves him. I mean, Kane will, pass the ball as much as he will score. Yeah. We're
watching him shoot around right here.
He's number 14.
Number 14. If he took his warm-up off, I'm not sure if he did.
There he is right here with the ball.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
And he's not a big scorer with Guertin. He'll get 12 to 14 points a game. He's their number 2 guy. Dylan Santos-Suazo is still their main guy, their main scorer. You know,
Tom, you gonna go with that haircut next time?
I think so.
You gonna go with that?
Oh, I've always wanted that. Yeah. So I mean, but here's what's very interesting about this: is Nate Kane leaves. Okay, he goes to Guertin. Who takes his spot but Sam McElliott?
Yeah.
And McElliott, you know, I'll have to pick it at some point during the day. But right now, in my mind, he may be the front runner for Player of the Year in the area.
How about that?
He's an 18 to 20 point a game scorer.
Yeah.
You know, he's been absolutely superb. So I mean, there's no question about it that he's taken that spot and ran with it, and it's one of the reasons why the Titans have success. So, you know, they also have Curtis Harris. You know, he's taken the limelight, the pressure off of Curtis Harris.
Yeah. Who
basically gives you 12 to 14 points a game and does all the little things with his athleticism and his defense and his offense.
Oh, great.
So it's a spectacular dynamic that the North has.
Yeah.
And they have some depth, you know. It's a different team than what we saw a year ago. They've got some depth. I don't know if they've got as much size as they would like to have.
So we saw a really interesting battle a couple nights ago when Bishop Guertin took on South at BG. Bishop Guertin had
3 games in 1.
Yeah, it was. It
really was.
Tale of 3 games.
It was the Guertin start. It was the South catch up and forge ahead.
Yeah.
And then Guertin bounced back and they forged ahead and they never looked back.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
So any prediction on today's game? How's it going to go?
I think it's either way. I mean, it can go either way.
Yep.
I don't really have one. I'll tell you what though, if McElliott takes off and starts hitting, it's going to be tough for Guertin. You know, because they faced a South team. They have to adjust a little bit. They faced a South team the other night that really didn't have a scorer. That's South's problem. They can't score.
Go-to guy.
This team in teal and blue can score.
Yeah, they can. We've seen them.
Yeah,
some really impressive spurts that they have put up. And maybe Sam McElliott wants to make a statement here with Nathan Kane in the building tonight.
Well, I think they both are. And Kane had some great things to say about Sam. He said, Sam's a great player. I play with him all the time. I said, I'm really happy for him and what he's done this year. So it'll be a great matchup.
That's Tom King. I'm John Collins. We're moments away now from the opening toss-in because we don't do the tip-off, the jump balls anymore in the pandemic rules. So usually they let the visiting team inbound it to begin things. It'll be on the court, on the floor for Bishop Guertin to begin.
Right, and they don't announce the starting lineups either, so.
They don't, right. For Guertin, you see Lucas Baker, the big guy in the middle. Dylan Santos-Suazo, their shooter. Also John Sullivan, who had a great game on Monday night on both ends of the floor. Jordan Robichaux is number 10. And, of course, the aforementioned Nathan Kane, number 14. Those are your players in gold and green. For North, Jaden Montgomery is number 30. Trevor Lebrecq is number 24. The great Curtis Harris-Lopez, number 2. Sam McElliott, as we talked about, number 13. And a loose ball, a steal by North, forces a jump ball off the opening possession. So I believe that the arrow will go with North, and yes, it does to begin. So they let the visiting team hand it in, but the jump ball arrow.
Yeah, because Guertin got the ball out first. That's
right,
why.
So that makes sense. So North gets a turnover right off the bat with some tight defense. Curtis Harris-Lopez dribbled it.
And that's the name of the game, defense. If this game is in the 70s, it'll be North. If it's in the 50s, I think Guertin has a better shot.
Curtis Harris lost the handle as he drove toward the paint. And BG's Nathan Kane scoops it up and brings the ball down court. Guertin looking to score first in this one. It's a Friday night game, a February 26th contest, late in the season, which will end and the playoffs begin on Monday as Nathan kickballs it out of bounds.
Yeah, he was anxious. He wanted to make a move. He's got the height advantage over Espinal, and he thought he could take him, and it didn't happen. Now it's a great matchup right now. Kane on McElliott.
Yeah, some early nerves. You're right. Anxious was the word there for Nathan Kane.
Sure was.
Curtis Harris going to hold it on his hip and kind of take a deep breath there and take everything in. A minute's gone by. Scoreless basketball here. 8-minute quarters in New Hampshire.
It'll take a while for these teams to feel each other out.
Might have got away with a step there, Lebrecq, as he passes it on the wing. Whirling dervish play. McElliott flings it back to Jaden Espinal. Had a chance to take a shot right away. Passed up on it. Everybody on the court touching it for North right now. Jaden Espinal again, open shot. He passes it up. This is the scoop shot and in. Does it count?
It does.
Actually, that's Jaden Montgomery. Was that number 30?
He got
some kind of call against North and negates the basket.
Ouch.
So it looked like an and one situation.
He must have traveled on the baseline.
That must have been it. John Sullivan on the court for Bishop Guertin is number 12. There is a Jack Sullivan on the roster, number 25 for North, not out on the floor at the moment. Inside, the turnaround is no good, as a good look for John Sullivan. And off the backboard, and then Nathan Kane scores the first 2 points of the game.
Against his old backcourt mate, Curtis Harris-Lopez.
Jaden Montgomery strong to the basket, and he ties it at 2.
That first shot gave Montgomery some confidence, John.
Yeah.
He had a reverse layup along the baseline that went in, so he knew he could take it to the basket.
He ties it at 2. Just over 2 minutes in, and we do have the girls' game going on streams. We'll be giving you updates from what's going on with North.
They're letting them play.
Is that Alvern or?
No.
Oh, the opposite of this game. It's North girls against BG girls going on elsewhere. We had South and BG girls on the opposite end last game we did. So another turnover. This one by BG. North benefits, and they'll have the ball in a 2-2 game. Their first next best chance to take a lead in this one. Nathan Kane scoring the first 2 for BG. Answered quickly by Jaden Montgomery of North. And trying to break the deadlock. There's a hard left shoulder. Sam McElliott get called for the offensive foul.
That's 2 mistakes North has made down low.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive there. Moving in close. Nobody's been eager. Oh, it's a 2-on-1 situation. Strong to the basket. Jaden Espinal committed the foul on Lucas Baker, who got the size advantage there.
Well, Lucas Baker, but I'll tell you what. Are you amazed at the fact how Jaden Espinal can elevate? It is incredible.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that seems to jump
and
then he kicks his legs and he goes up another 3 feet.
He's got to be almost, 6 inches away,
Yeah,
shorter.
It looks like he can get his elbow up to the rim, and he's not a really tall guy. There's a drive to the basket, and running out of room, Trevor LeBrecq gives it up. Jordan Robichaux stumbled but maintains possession.
Yeah, needed to. Guertin wants to run a little bit. I don't think they really want to get into a horse race with this team.
Lucas Baker inside and losing the handle, Nathan Kane, but he drew the foul.
Now everything is contested inside. Everything is contested. And here a pin drop as Kane makes the first free throw.
So first free throw of the game is good by Nathan, 5-2. BG leads it. And make it a 2-score game as Nathan hits them both. On the wing it goes. Jaden Espinal, down court he comes. Flings it back to Curtis Harris-Lopez. Fake left, went right. Dish to Jaden Espinal. He loses the handle out of bounds, and it is off of
You got the athletic ability
BG.
Curtis Harris-Lopez has. You take that shot. You go all the way to the basket.
Back it goes to the top of the key. Curtis Harris, the jump shot.
No, that's not the shot. He wanted the drive earlier. That's the shot he should have taken.
I think John Sullivan might have got a piece of that, so I'm going to credit him with a block. Dylan Santos-Suazo's yet to take a shot in this game. Number 15 for BG, quality shooter. John Sullivan kicks it back up top. Nathan Kane thought about it, but he has got Trevor LeBrecq all over him, not giving him any easy basket or easy look. Inside it goes, a 3-on-1 situation, and trying to put it up was Dylan Santos-Suazo. It was a clean block, and then the mad scramble.
Well, mad scramble is right. That's all we're seeing in this game are mad scrambles right now.
Yeah, we're not seeing somebody come down the court, get open, and take a three-pointer.
Right, we're not. Now they're going to try to do that for McElliott later on, I'm sure.
Everybody's reluctant to put up a shot of any kind of distance in this game. It's funny, it looks like every single person's looking to go to the basket. Luke Baker up top he goes. John Sullivan passing around the perimeter of the Cardinals. That's a good look underneath, and it doesn't go for Santa Suaso, and he committed the foul trying to get back the offensive rebound.
Well, Santa Suaso did a great job to put it up right away, but again,
Derek Finlay getting some minutes for North, got that rebound.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Anything inside is being contested heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Here's McElliott now. He's going to turn around with a jumper.
The spin move. Nicely done by Sam McElliott.
Yep, I mean, look, they get this kid going. They get going.
Guertin leads by 2 with the ball, 6-4. The Cardinals are up. We're 3:25 to go in the first quarter. High-intensity basketball here on a Friday night. Miscommunication there between John Sullivan and Luke Baker, who was kind of backing away from the pass as it bounced out of bounds.
Exactly. John Sullivan was looking for Baker to cut to the basket and not back away from it.
Yeah, he looked like a backhoe right there, clearing a mound of dirt, but it was 2 opponents he was clearing out at once by backing up. McElliott runs into Sullivan, who got a piece of the ball. A travel's called against somebody, it looked like.
Against North.
Huh.
Otherwise, Sullivan would have had a breakaway layup. 6-4.
6-4. 10 hard-earned points so far.
Good grief, isn't it?
Nothing's coming easy.
Are they ever?
Jordan Robichaux hesitated on the drive. Lucas Baker in unfamiliar territory way outside. Nathan Kane has it slapped out of his hands by Curtis Harris and stolen away by Jack Sullivan, number 25. We've got a pair of John and Jack Sullivans out there. One for South and one, I'm a BG, and one for North.
I'm telling you, that ball is again, it's got to have a Megabucks ticket inside, the winning Megabucks ticket inside. They're just going nuts, going for it, and obviously that's just it. But
yeah, right in front of you there, Nathan Kane had the ball in his hands just for a split second, and 2 guys swatted it out of his hands.
Hold on to the basketball.
You can't even keep it still for a second.
No.
Curtis Harris to his right, finds a seam. Goes up and doesn't get it, though. He wasn't able to get it out of his ball.
The double team.
Yeah, that definitely hampered him.
He got double teamed as he entered the paint.
Number 20 for BG is Matt Santa Suaso, and he has it swatted down by Derek Finlay. The block from behind, a clean play. Sam McElliott runs into a double-team wall.
Oh, wide open.
Jabari Ellison was out there.
Wide open, oh.
From the corner, doesn't go for Spencer Lebrecht, number 35. Certainly, Coach Stephen Lane is getting a lot of people involved in this game. Saying a lot of names from the roster.
You want a fresh team in that fourth quarter. Again, these 2 teams anticipate that they may see each other again.
Jabari Ellison swings it to Matt Santa Suaso. The turnaround jumper inside. Nicely done. John Sullivan elevates.
Yeah, they posted him up, and he got 10, an 8-footer. He's got to take that shot.
8-4. Guertin leads with that basket by Sullivan.
Kane on McElliott. It's a great matchup.
Derek Finlay tried a bounce pass in the paint. Not a good idea, according to the Tom King Basketball School. And again, it is intercepted.
Only if the player is cutting to the basket is it a good idea. No one was cutting there.
That was just traffic.
Yep.
And it's stolen away by the Cardinals. They have a chance to add to their 8-4 lead and get to double digits first. John Sullivan up top. Matt Santa Suaso backs it out, gives it to Jordan Robichaux. Ellison inside. John Sullivan elevates again, but he threw it over the basket, and good, strong rebound by Spencer Lebrecht. He got fouled on the way down.
Rebounding will be the key for North. Neither team hitting their shots, and there's a minute left in the quarter, and there's only been 10 points scored.
Dylan Santos Suaso, number 15 for Guertin, committed the foul. He comes out.
If I'm BG, even though BG can put up a lot of points too, you don't want to let this North team just go nuts with the offense.
Yeah, North's got to be disappointed with only 4 points with less than a minute to go in the first quarter.
Yep.
And I think that's a function of just people not being willing to shoot from outside. Norris runs out of room underneath the basket. Ryan Stack brought it down for the Cardinals. Both coaches getting a lot of their bench players into these games, and they're bringing the intensity, these guys. As Tom said, they want fresh legs not only for the later in this game, but for the playoffs.
Yeah, looks like Guertin may be playing for the last shot of the quarter.
Yes, and they have a shot at the last shot with only 15 seconds to go. John Sullivan takes a breath. He's got Sam McElliott pasted to him.
Now Guertin's way too
one-on-one.
It's going to be Sullivan taking it one way or the other.
The fadeaway, no good. Ooh. Rebound. There's a touchdown pass, and the cheerleaders have to scatter.
It was almost a big collision there in midair.
Yeah.
So at the end of a quarter.
Well, if that was an almost collision, that's one of the few that didn't happen because there was so many collisions in that first quarter. Up in the air and on the, hardwood.
That was just incredible. I thought for sure there were going to be two bodies just in midair, banging it on the floor, landing hard.
I don't know how when you watch the NBA basketball, let's say, the Golden State Warriors setting the standard on these three-pointers, Steph Curry. Nobody tries to do that. I mean, it seems like so much work to go into the basket and get banged around and, trying to find an open teammate and everybody's doubled underneath the basket. And then you can see these guys that shoot the lights out and they don't have to even get their hands dirty. They're just like 50 feet from the basket, 3 points. But I mean, everybody has their game strategies, I guess.
It's just all game flow. That's what it is. It's game flow. You got to get one of these players to get into a flow and take off.
But where's the designated three-point shooter on each team is what I'm saying. The guy that just like...
So it's Jack Sullivan on North.
25 for North.
And John on DG,
and
right?
John for GG. And technically, I think you can call it John a Jack if you want to, speaking as one. There's the drive and a block. Lucas Baker with John Sullivan, great work. Open look, Curtis Harris takes one of those rarities, a long shot, doesn't go. And Jaden Montgomery with some work on the baseline for two. Nice job at getting the offensive rebound and then taking advantage of the space he had to work with to go right up. 8-6. North trails by just the one score. Bishop Guertin trying to stay in the lead. Opening possession for them here in the second quarter.
Nice double team for North.
Jordan Robichaux, Jaden Montgomery monitoring him. Swings it to John Sullivan, who's being covered by Spencer Lebrecht.
Sullivan was looking for somebody to post up.
Javari Ellison, hands off to Ryan Stack inside and a push-off to create space, kind of like a tight end pushing off on the D-back.
Yeah, Matt Santosuazo gets called for the push-off.
And the official was right there, give credit. 8-6, points still at a premium in this game. We spent part of the pregame talking about how adept both of these two teams are at scoring in spurts, but neither one has had a big offensive outburst yet. Nice bounce pass that time. He gets away with it. Jaden Montgomery, Jaden Espinal with the rise that you talked about. He's probably got a 40-inch vertical at least. There's a travel, some hesitation there by Jordan Robichaux. And the indecision led to the turnover, the travel. So Jaden Montgomery and Curtis Harris Lopez will bring it up court. We have an 8-8 basketball game here in the second quarter. Curtis Harris ran into a double team, tried to dish it, stolen away. Nathan Kane maintains control. The trailer in. Nice pass from Nathan Kane to Jordan Robichaux on the wing. And BG's got the lead back by 2, 10-8.
John Fisher said Nate Kane is just as happy passing the ball as he is scoring, so that's an example of it right there. Kane could have taken it all the way down himself, but he chose to give it up. But you see Harris.
Harris.
Once Harris steps into the paint, it's an automatic double team.
Yeah, Javari Ellison dropping off of his man to create a block situation. He got called for the foul, though, non-shooting foul. Substitutions. Into the game for North comes Sam McElliott, had taken a rest, number 13. Trevor Lebrecht to his right off a pick. Lost the handle, batted away. Jaden Espinal with the quicks, though, to get to the loose ball.
Yeah, Espinal's used to doing that during football, right?
Yeah.
Nose to the ball. Here's McElliott, 1-on-3.
That was actually
a
1-on-4 at one point. And he did travel.
I'll tell you
He's
right
pleading
now.
his case, but
I'll tell you right now, the one thing that Bishop Guertin is going to do is they're going to do their best not to let McElliott beat them. And let the other players have to come through.
He drew 4 guys that
and
time.
There's the example.
And so somebody was open, Tom.
There's the example of it. Yes, but you know what, John? You have 4 guys. This Kane with a shot.
Jaden Espinal elevates over everybody to grab that rebound.
You just can get up. But see, when you have 4 guys converge on you like that, you can't get an opening to pass the ball.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
Here's Harris. Now
McElliott, open look. Off to the right, badly. Misses.
So Harris just got the ball. Harris turns to his left. What he needs to do is stop at the foul line and just hit a pull-up jumper because it was there. Instead, he tried to take it deep into the paint, and he realized there was nowhere to go, and he passed the ball away. Harris was open for the foul line jumper.
Lucas Baker had a chance to take it to the basket, but he slowed it down, and the foul, Nathan Kane goes to the basket, and he gets body checked midair by Trevor Lebrecht in the process of shooting.
If I'm Guertin, I keep coming with Kane cutting across the baseline. He is a master at doing that. He was very good at doing that when he was with North, and he's doing it for Guertin right now.
Yeah, it was his go-to play.
Exactly, and he's had the best looks of anybody.
And he's back at the free throw line now and knocking him down with exactly 5:00 on the clock. 5 minutes even to go in the first half. Guertin with an 11-8 lead, and once again at the free throw line, Nathan Kane can make it a 4-point game, a 2-score game again. Does. 12-8. North's offensive struggles have been a story here in the first half. They have just 8 points through the first.
Yep, and only 2 from
11 minutes.
Only 2 from McElliott, right?
2 from McElliott.
Yep.
He's had more turnovers than he's had points. Uncharacteristically. In the corner. Here he comes up top.
Well, you know what's bothering North, and I'll tell you in a second after this play.
Running into the double team, Curtis Harris threw it out of bounds.
You know what's bothering North? The size advantage. Guertin's defense gives them an automatic size advantage when they move up on somebody.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to go right at them underneath.
Right, and that's the thing. You drive the lane, you're into a brick wall that is towering over you in a little bit. Now, North has got players who can elevate better than BG though, but they haven't been able to get that space.
Lucas Baker holding it over his head will go to the right. Dylan Santosuaso.
Baker on a pick and roll. Santosuaso didn't see the opening. Here's Kane. He's going to go in. Nope.
Kicks it back outside. He had a chance to go to the basket.
It would have been him against Harris.
Harris nearly blocked it with his back turned to the pass.
All right, what you're watching right here with Harris and Kane, that's a North practice from a year ago.
That's right. They were on the same team a year ago. Elevating, not getting the bounce though, was John Sullivan. Long pass, and Jaden Montgomery went up in midair and got knocked down on his left shoulder. Hopefully he's okay. He's actually flexing his left knee as he came down fully on his left side without being able to break his fall in any way. But he bounces right back to his feet, and he'll go right to the free throw line. Hopefully he's right-handed. I did see that Sam McElliott is left-handed when he let go of that last three-point attempt. So off to the right though on the 1-and-1. Sam McElliott gets blocked. John Sullivan got right up there.
It's the size. It's just the size is really starting to bother North.
You mentioned it.
Yep.
And Nathan Kane doesn't get the bounce. What do we have?
Going to be a foul on Harris, I would believe.
Curtis Harris.
Yeah, and Kane is going to go to the line.
Yep. If there was contact, it was pretty quick contact.
All right, I'm trying to think here. When the heck did Guertin get 17 fouls? That's a surprise to me. North hasn't been at the line that much.
Well, you know what? Nathan Kane has gotten fouled in the process of shooting each time.
Well, no, I'm talking about 7 fouls.
7 fouls.
I haven't seen that.
BG.
I wonder if that's correct.
They must have got a slew of them early.
I guess so, you know.
Some of those things we probably thought were knocking the ball out of bounds.
Well, then North ought to be going to the line. They can go to the line the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, you're right.
Traveling
There's a traveler.
McElliott.
Sam McElliott.
He's just having a tough start. I mean, look, he's having a great year, but he's putting. I think maybe he's putting a little bit too much pressure on himself, and that's where Curtis Harris has to come in and help him and take him off it.
5 minutes to go over at Bishop Guertin in the girls' game. The Lady Cardinals lead North's girls 22-16 with 5 minutes left to go in the half. Out of bounds off the Cardinals.
And that's a good job by North. With 5 minutes left to go in the half. 22-16. Another tough matchup for Bishop Guertin against the Nashua team.
Yeah. 7 fouls against North to 8 fouls by Guertin. So they're in the penalty.
With the girls' game you're talking about.
In the girls' game, excuse me. Yeah, that's what I got a good look at the camera there. It's probably Frank Wallen, I would imagine, on the camera. We got Tim O'Neill on our lens here at North High School on a Friday, February 26th. Curtis Harris shoots it, doesn't get the shot, and
a foul.
Wow, that was John Sullivan versus Jack Sullivan. Those are the two Sullivans going at it right there. John versus Jack. And Jack got called for the foul.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, Jack was going up the hill and he didn't get that pail of water. Instead, he drew a foul because he went high. He elevated and just banged into John over the back. A typical loose ball. What they used to call in the NBA, John, a loose ball foul.
Yes.
That was the old days. And Harris, what was Curtis Harris trying to do there? I mean, that was just.
Yeah.
It didn't seem as though he even tried to reach for the ball. He just kind of tried to body him.
Right.
I think he anticipated Sullivan going one way, and instead he went the other. And
Tom,
now Guertin is going to go to the line, both teams with 17 fouls.
Both teams with 7 fouls each with 3 minutes left in the half. And Guertin enjoying a 6-point lead right now, can add to it. As they missed the first one, though, the live rebound is grabbed by Derek Finlay as he feeds it to Jack Sullivan. Jaden Montgomery fakes left, goes right. Has his pass stolen, though. Luke Baker got in the passing lane. Nathan Kane.
2:49 to play and only 8 points on offense. That is some defense by BG.
John Sullivan passes it on the wing.
And a cold start for North. Combination of the two.
Lucas Baker. John Sullivan's open here for a 3 if he wanted one, but they're just going to take some time off the clock.
Yep, 2:27 to go. They're looking for the best shot. They're not trying to take time off right now. They're looking for the best shot, John.
Jabari Ellison could have taken it. Luke Baker will take a 2. No good. Ripped down by Jack Sullivan.
I mean, John Fisher said they've told him if it's open, take it.
Top of the key, Sam McElliott, who is a senior.
Against Baker. No, yes, it was against Baker, yep.
Jaden Montgomery has his shot blocked by Jabari Ellison, but the putback, I believe that was
2-5.
Jack Sullivan, number 25 with the basket.
2-5.
So it makes it a 4-point game with just under 2 minutes to go. On the wing, Lucas Baker and Dylan Santosuaso not able to corral it as the ball comes over behind us. Timeout taken by North. So North wants to talk some strategy, only down by 4 points. Tom, were you born when John F. Kennedy was president?
Yes, I was.
Yes, me too. So he was a guy that went by John and by Jack. It depended on who, I think his friends called him Jack. And, of course, he formerly was John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the president. So
you want me to call you Jack?
No.
You want me to call you Jack?
I don't.
Okay, then end the discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
Just, hey, it's the education station, you know. I just wanted to share. When I was a little kid, that's when I first found out that they were interchangeable. It didn't make any sense to me, but
it's probably his family called him Jack. I bet, right?
They did.
I bet,
yeah. My mom used to tell me that about it.
Sure.
And she asked me the same question that you just asked me when I was a little kid. You wanted me to call you Jack? I said no. That's not my name. So you can ask that to Jack Sullivan at some point when you're doing a feature piece on him a couple years from now when he's a senior. You can say, hey, were you born John Sullivan? You just call yourself Jack?
You want me to remember that?
Yeah, I do. Please.
I barely remember to come tonight.
You remember a lot. You got a good memory. Don't sell yourself short.
I've seen a lot.
On the wing it goes to Jack Sullivan in the corner. Driving toward the basket. 1:25 to go, 4-point lead for Guertin.
So I'm going to give a shout out right here. Jacqueline Brown, do you see what you started? Do you hear what you started when you texted me about that? Do you hear that, Jackie?
Driving on the outside. And BG with a steal. Nathan Kane was waiting for that bounce pass underneath the basket. Exactly 1 minute to go. Javari Ellison hands it off.
It's just, I mean, you got to be kidding me with this defense. It's unbelievable. Both teams need a team getting that flow.
Yeah, and Nathan Kane, baseline, again gets fouled as he goes to the basket, elevating from the wing.
Why?
That's a formula for him.
Again, the baseline.
Yeah.
Got to close off that baseline, but he is making regular trips to the foul line. And to be honest, those 4 free throws that he's already had, that's why North is up 4 points.
Here's some more. Nathan Kane's a good free throw shooter.
Talking with McElliott. See, these kids all know each other, John. It's
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. No, these kids.
Oh, don't start, man. That's in the corner. 41 seconds to go. Jack Sullivan runs into a wall, hands it off. Jaden Montgomery's had a good half, but into the double team, gets it to go. Jaden Montgomery wanted a foul, and I don't blame him. He could have went to the line on that.
Right, but he's the one player who's been able to get those looks along the baseline for North.
What do we have? Timeout, Bishop Guertin.
BG. You know, first of all, I think with 21.5 seconds left, he wants to set up the shot. All right, they're going to hold the ball.
Yep.
So, and I think the other thing he's going to talk about at halftime is don't let that layup happen again.
Well, we check in on the girls' game, and it is a 26-20 lead. Only 6 points lead for Cardinals with 2 minutes left in the half.
Yep.
And North is at the line.
Telling you.
Their tall center,
Victoria
Conrad.
See, that's something Guertin hasn't seen. They haven't seen that kind of height.
No, and she just missed a gimme shot, Tom. It could be a 4-point game easily.
And that's the thing.
And she's struggling at the free throw line now as I watch.
Yeah.
Missed them. Oh, hit one of the two.
The one thing that North has developed now, they're playing their best basketball late, which is really good because they could be a tough out in the tournament. The one thing that they've gotten now, they're developing, besides Conrad, another go-to player in Olivia Mazarol.
Jaden Montgomery nearly got the steal. The inbounds pass. That took a half second off the clock.
Yep.
Or maybe 1.4.
But what that did was it makes Guertin go a little longer now. They don't have the ball at half court. They got to go deep into the backcourt now and bring it out. But Kane will do it, and there's no pressure from North right now. 16-12.
Kane looking to his right.
It's going to be Kane trying to drive against McElliott if he can do it.
McElliott keeping him outside. Javari Ellison for 3, left it short. Kane rebound, puts it right up and doesn't get the bounce. It is 1 second, that's it.
Boy.
Matt Santasuaso was on the doorstep. They had 3 bites at the apple there late.
Boy, they had
and
easy layups and no points.
In that final possession.
So if you're looking at the scoreboard and you see 16-12, no, that is not the end of the first quarter. That is the end of the first half, everybody.
Yeah, by comparison, the girls' game's 29-21 with a minute and a half left.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys can score. Take our word for it. We'll show you in the second half,
That's right.
I think. I don't know. It's one of those games where defense dominates.
We thought about that with the North-South girls game, remember?
Yeah.
And it never happened that way.
1916 final.
Yep.
This one's going towards that direction.
Exactly.
I'm John Collins with Tom King. Cameraman Tim O'Neill will be back with second half action coming up on Nashua ETV as Guertin leads North at the half 16-12.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Nashua High School North, where we're about to begin the second half. Bishop Guertin boys leading the boys from North 16-12 after a first half that was dominated by the defenses for both teams.
Boy, if you had told me this would be the score at halftime with these two teams, with the talent that's out here on the floor, I never would have believed it. I know defensively they play well, but still, you're not expecting this.
No.
And, you know, McElliott, I think he only has 2 points. Nate Kane, I believe, has six or eight. And it's just, it's
total of 28 points between the two teams.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Give you an idea how unbelievable it is. You look over at the girls' game at halftime, 51 points have been scored through the first half. In that one, where the BG girls lead 30-21 at halftime. Here at 16-12, the BG boys are up, but barely. It's anybody's basketball game.
I'll tell you what, John. Look down the road ahead. Neither of these teams can play this way offensively if they want to beat anybody from the Seacoast, where a lot of the talent is right now.
Yeah, number one, I believe Exeter on top of everybody. Kane with an open look. Swish. Nathan Kane with the first
that's a three.
First three-pointer of the game.
Yep.
Curtis Harris strong to the hoop, got fouled. Curtis Harris looked like he was about to jam it.
He's tired of it. He
is.
You know?
Yep. It took it right to the hoop, and he got fouled in the process. So that three-pointer by Nathan Kane to open the scoring in the second half opened up the biggest lead of the game for the Cardinals. They're ahead 19-12, and now Curtis Harris with free throws misses the first.
Well, you're down 7. You can't afford to give up free throws.
Lucas Baker with a quick breather early. Javari Ellison into the game for the Cardinals, number 23.
Not sure of the foul situation with Baker. That's the only reason I can see why he's out of the game right now.
Yeah, 30 seconds into the second half. So making one of the two was Curtis Harris. It's a 6-point game, 19-13. Quick passing, Ellison for two.
He tried to dunk it and almost missed it.
At least if you miss the dunk, make the basket, and he did. Jaden Montgomery kicks it in the corner, driving baseline. Trevor Lebrecht.
Yeah, that's a play. You know, remember, we saw Lebrecht hit from the outside during a lot of those South games. That's lacking in this, but hey, if the outside shot isn't falling, you can make it fall. You can open up the outside and vice versa the inside by taking it the opposite way, and he just took it inside.
The scoring pace picking up for both teams early in the third quarter. Kane swings it outside. Jordan Robichaux feeds Dylan Santasuaso for three. Good shooter, only about his second long shot of the game. He missed them both, though. Nathan Kane got fouled as he went through the paint.
Telling you, he is not shy about making the play and making the shot, taking the shot, and as a result, he's ended up, you know, he will not go in the act of shooting, so you...
Not quite sure who that was on. I think it was either Curtis Harris or Trevor Lebrecht underneath. Javari Ellison with the inbounds play. Goes to his left, drives, tried to pass it. I don't know, he was fouled, though, by Sam McElliott. And another non-shooting foul, I believe. They're going to call that a shot because he was in the process of passing it.
Put the ball up in the air. If he was passing it, he disguised it, and he got a break.
I think might have been the case. I think he was trying to go to Nathan Kane.
I think he was, too.
They put him at the line. And he makes the first of two. So, minute and a half into the second half, and BG maintaining their lead. Was 6, now could be 8. And Ellison missed the second one, and Jaden Espinal, such a treat to watch him jump.
It sure is, isn't it?
Tom's got a great photo of him, too, from the first half.
Yeah,
blocking a shot of a taller player. And
on Baker, yep.
And that bounce pass in traffic, nearly stolen. Espinal just barely keeping that pivot foot in contact with the hardwood. Jaden Montgomery's had some highlight plays so far, and there's another one. Jaden Montgomery.
He is going to the basket with authority. That's the big thing.
Nice play. Drives, gets two. He makes the foul there, though, unnecessarily.
He is North's go-to all of a sudden in this basketball game.
Hopefully he's not in foul trouble. That's at least 2, if not 3 on him. Playing that aggressive defense. Nathan Kane with it, as the game's only 3-point make. And big reason why the Cardinals are up by 5, 22-17. A catch and shoot. Some confidence behind that one, but Jordan Robichaux missed it, rimmed out, and
yep, off Kane, I believe, or is it going to go Guertin's way? Let's see.
Yep, they're going to get the call.
Yep.
Out of bounds off of apparently the Titans.
Kane had gone for a rebound, and he was going right up with the shot, and the ball just got knocked out of his hands.
John Sullivan, Javari Ellison.
Ellison could try. Oh, nice pass down low.
There's an open look. Dylan Santos-Suazo in and out. They left him alone for a moment.
Well, the scorers are not involved in this game at all, are they? Santos-Suazo and McElliott, they just can't get anything to fall.
Espinal flings it off the fingertips of Montgomery, ends up in the first row.
Yeah, there's the hype of it. You're all hyped up, rivalry game, and that's when those turnovers happen.
Espinal put
I'll tell you what, though, for
too
Guertin,
much mustard on that, I guess.
For Guertin, you know, we talk about North, they're struggling offensively, so is Guertin. You know, 5:09 to play here in the third. It's only 22 points. Oh, Curtis Harris
for the
almost.
steal. Kane feeds it in the corner. Wide open look. John Sullivan knocks it down. That is a 3, 25-17. Biggest lead of the game, 8 points for BG, trying to answer back immediately. The follow away by McElliott doesn't go, and Ellison rips down the rebound. Jordan Robichaux on a casual jog dribble down the court. Flings it out to the wing. John Sullivan up top. Dylan Santos-Suazo swings it to Jordan Robichaux. Inside, Ellison's got position for 2.
And Steve Lane is not going to call time. He's going to let things try to develop. 27-17.
Tom King's internal momentum clock went off right there, and he would normally expect a timeout, but Jaden Montgomery
that's why, because you got
fouled and gets the basket.
This kid is beating BG right now on his own. You know, they have not found an answer to stop his electric moves to the basket.
And if you're a North fan, you say more of Jaden Montgomery, please.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Because he is getting it done as he goes to the basket and answering these BG points, keeping the Titans in the game, trying to make it a 7-point deficit here, and he does. He gets the bounce. Timeout. No substitutions, excuse me. Just from the scorer's table into the game comes Jack Sullivan, number 25. And also Derek Finlay, number 45 in the game. Sullivan pushing the pace. That's John Sullivan, that is. And it goes out of bounds. They say off of Jack Sullivan, number 25. And apparently that was the case. It was a deflected pass.
And Jack's saying, no, it was off John.
Jack off of John. Actually, no, it went off of BG. They changed it. Okay, so maybe the official just pointed the wrong direction. Curtis Harris slowing the pace down here with 4 minutes to go, third quarter.
He's looking to drive it.
Inside, it was a good idea, but heads up play by John Sullivan to bat it away from McElliott. Who had
nothing from the outside for North, though. Nothing.
No, nothing. Have they even tried a three-pointer? I guess.
No, they did. I mean, McElliott had a couple that were air balls.
Air balls, that's right.
You know, here's Harris. Let's see. Nope.
And Nathan Kane got a hand on it. We could hear it. In the corner it goes. Ellison gets it back. Javari up top to Dylan Santos-Suazo. He can shoot from there.
All right, well, see, Guertin now, they've got 2 3-pointers in this quarter. They've opened up the outside a little bit.
Nathan Kane ran into a double team. Ellison.
Oh, I thought they were going to give it to Matt Santos-Suazo at the foul line for a shot.
Dylan Santos-Suazo to brother Matt. Cross court. Dylan thought about it, ran into a double team. Ellison's got an open look for a 3, but left it woefully short. And ushering it out of bounds was Derek Finlay.
Yeah, Ellison, it looked like he was ready to shoot it long before he got the ball, and so he threw up an anxious shot.
Yeah, he wasn't in rhythm or locked in at all. It's just kind of uncomfortable looking release.
I think he was in rhythm like 2 seconds before that.
Right.
Oh. Did you catch it?
I did. I caught it on the fly.
There you go.
It was a perfect pass from Curtis Harris to me, and I was not the intended receiver.
It's all right.
Pete, the equipment's fine. I saved it. Matt Santosuaso almost lost the handle.
I suppose you want extra pay for that, right?
Yeah. Hazard pay, safety, save. Nah, it's all good. John Sullivan with the fadeaway pop.
John Sullivan is the hot hand right now for BG.
Yeah, some playground driveway basketball there from John Sullivan as he gets it to go. Harris elevates, beautiful drive, Curtis Harris. Taking John Sullivan to the basket.
Yep, he's got the quickness advantage there.
He did, he exploited it. Hasn't done that enough, I think. Nathan Kane drains it, and he's psyched about that shot.
He turns around and lets out a yell. Yep.
That's a 10-point lead. Derek Finlay
Harris
thought
gave
about
up another open layup.
He did, he certainly did. Driving. Sam McElliott drew a double team, but he had a chance to make it go. Just laid it up on the wrong section of the glass. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter, a 10-point advantage for Bishop Guertin, thanks largely to the shooting of Nathan Kane, who's got the ball. He slings it into the corner to John Sullivan. Those outside shots, the difference in the game, the ones that North aren't even taking. To the baseline and to the basket, Matt Santosuaso for two, and it is the biggest lead of the game. 12 points, the Cardinals are up. Curtis Harris to the basket. Curtis Harris taking over a little bit, taking something from the page of Jaden Montgomery and going to the basket. Almost uncontested there. Did it so quickly. So it's back to 10 points though. Cardinals enjoying a cushion after an outburst of scoring here in quarter number 3. It was 16-12 at halftime, and almost they've doubled up their score already, have the Cardinals. They've scored more points here in the third quarter than they did all of the first half.
Somebody had to get hot.
Inside, Baker kicks it outside. Wide open look, Matt Santosuaso in and out. Crashing, John Sullivan makes it.
Cannot let that happen if you're North, not at all.
That one hurts.
Yeah, it does.
There's an open shot, left it short. Spencer Lebrecht.
And now you just gave Guertin the ball to take it for the last shot.
John Sullivan kicks it outside. Matt Santosuaso slowing it down a little bit. 22 seconds to go. Nathan Kane. It does seem BG's aware of the clock and aware of the fact they could take the last shot. Kane, though, driving.
It doesn't look like if they get the shot, they're going to try for it.
And they lose it out of bounds.
Yeah, they got a little too anxious. They should have just pulled back out, passed it around, and then made their move with about 6 seconds left. Instead, they got too anxious. Kane actually did. He thought he was going to have a clear path to the basket, and it got shut off, and then he changed his mind.
Curtis Harris with it.
He's going.
He's thinking about going to the basket again, but he drew a double team that time. And in traffic, and no, he doesn't get the bounce.
No,
Was
but
that Jaden Montgomery?
Gets the foul call, and that is huge.
Sam McElliott to the line, drew the foul. His team's down by 12 as he shoots free throws with 1.4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. An outburst of scoring here in this third quarter as North doubled up on their point production, actually more than doubled up. They got 13 points here in the third so far after only 12 in the entire first half. Bishop Guertin also with a burst. They had 16 at the half. They have 36 after the third, so a 20-point third quarter for North. And the long shot at the buzzer, a 10-point game. So there's your offense making its appearance 16 minutes into the game. Checking in on the Lady Cardinals versus the Lady Titans. In the girls' game, 44-27 in the third quarter. BG's opened up a 17-point lead. So here we are on a Friday night, and game moving along. I shouldn't talk too much about the time, but we've seen that during the pandemic with less...
Triple overtime, you just jinxed us.
10-point comeback by North. Statement game going into the playoffs. Once again, this is the end of the regular season, and we'll be talking about
right. There you go.
Playoffs from now on. And on Monday night, it'll be South versus Bishop Guertin at Bishop Guertin, a rematch of the game we just saw a few nights ago, which was, as Tom said, 3 games within 1. BG took a huge lead. South expended all kinds of energy catching up, and then BG retook over in the end of the game. Jaden Espinal tried to feed it to Montgomery, and he got surprised by the pass. 2 Jadens on the team, Jayden. There's Jaden Montgomery and Jaden Espinal, and they both got tremendous quickness and jumping ability. So it's a fast team out there for North, and they need to get back into this game fast if they can, trailing 36-26 as we begin play here in the 4th quarter. Up top it comes to Jordan Robichaux. He hands it off to Dylan Santosuaso. Kane slings it to Robichaux, runs out of room baseline, and a miscommunication by the Cardinals. Titans basketball.
Well,
a couple of the officials going to talk it over. One saw it differently, and they're going to say it was deflected out of bounds by North.
So it'll be BG's ball, and right now, this is going to be, North's going to have to do it on defense. They'll have to use their defense to turn into offense. Down 10.
That's about the only way.
Yeah, they can't just start matching points.
Yeah, they need stops and baskets.
Right.
And right now, tight defense. Jaden Montgomery knocks it out of bounds off of Robichaux. Jordan lost the handle, so good defense producing the turnover. Now North, of course, needs to capitalize. Driving, leaving the floater short was Trevor Lebrecht. Mad scramble for the ball. Jaden Montgomery doing all that he can. Didn't get any help from his teammates, though, as they had retreated down the floor to anticipate the Bishop Guertin possession. Underneath, the turnaround, no good. Dylan
faded away instead of going up to the basket. Out.
Jaden Montgomery with it. Yeah. Bounced it off the foot of Lucas Baker and got it back. Flings it underneath. Jaden Espinal outside.
Well, see, Espinal normally would take that layup shot, but he had a tree in front of him named Baker.
Sam McElliott trying to take Nathan Kane to the basket. Thinks better of it. In the corner, wide open look for Trevor Lebrecht.
That's what Trevor Lebrecht can do.
And that is a much-needed 3. Makes it a 7-point game. Big stop and a big basket for the Titans.
I mean, that's what North has not had.
Wide underneath, and it's in. Good job of finding the open man underneath. Dylan Santosuaso gets 2. Jump shot, in and out. Curtis Harris had an open look, couldn't get it to go. Driving to the basket is Jordan Robichaux. He gets fouled from behind.
So again, they could see each other again because the winner of the, if I'm not mistaken, winner of the Monday night game plays North on Thursday. Here.
Yeah, so North drew the #1 seed, and they will be here and awaiting the winner of South Bishop Guertin Monday night. Of course, BG won the previous matchup between those two teams, so they'll be considered the favorite on their home court Monday night, but we shall see. Up top it goes. Swing it to the side. Dylan Santosuaso to Nathan Kane. Jordan Robichaux. Dylan Santosuaso being bothered by Lebrecht, but he gets it inside and doesn't get the bounce. It goes in and out of the basket. Sam McElliott on the wing. John Sullivan with a quick hand in the face.
Did not take the shot.
McElliott with his back to the basket. Turnaround, floater, good! The lefty floater!
The left hand, what a shot.
Sam McElliott, just under 5 minutes left to go in the game, and it's a 7-point advantage for the Cardinals. timeout, Guertin. They're getting a little nervous about
what
the
they want is they
score.
want better defense in the paint. They don't want. See, what started that play was Jordan Montgomery penetrated again.
Yeah.
He didn't take the shot. Instead, he passed it back out to McElliott, who was open and knew he could take his defender on the dribble and put up the hook shot. You don't see too many of those shots anymore.
Timeout on the floor, 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the game.
Again, North's going to have to play really good defense. They can't let Kane or Sullivan or Santa Suazo start getting hot down the stretch.
How about the conditioning of these players? I'm focusing in on number 30 there.
John, if I looked at the conditioning of these players, forget it. I'd just give up. I'd give up on life. Okay? You're talking to somebody who, the last few nights has been sitting at the table with the laptop in front of him for like 4 hours straight, then tries to get up, and it takes the jaws of life to pull me up.
Jaws of life.
Oh, boy.
The guy I was focused in on is sitting down, though. He's taking a breather and
it's a good.
Jaden Montgomery. I mean,
it's a good sit for him right now.
Yeah, because he has been non-stop.
He's
in
just
this game.
Mr. Energy.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Goes for a lot of players in this game.
Unbelievable.
Open look. Dylan Santasuaso takes it. John Sullivan with a strong offensive board, but he can't get it to go. And
now they can cut the lead here to 5.
Sam
it was
McElliott
12.
Had a seam there, but he didn't take advantage. Curtis Harris Lopez driving, kicks it outside. Jaden Espinal, open jumper, good! Jaden Espinal makes it a 5-point game. 38-33. 4:15 to go. A miss and a make.
Well, it's entertaining, that's for sure.
Bishop Guertin certainly had a great look at 2 looks at the basket last time. Down the floor, they almost throw it away. They do.
Yep. I don't know who Baker was throwing to. I think he was thinking Kane was coming out. He was trying to get it to Kane on the top half of the key, and he threw it through the paint.
Yeah, it was an impossible pass to handle in the end, and it goes out of bounds off of Nathan Kane's lower extremities. And we have another stop and an opportunity for North to cut the deficit yet again. They're down by 5, 38-33, with just under 4 minutes to go, almost a throwaway, and out of bounds off of the Cardinals.
Nice play by Matt Santasuazo. He just ran out of room to steal it. So now Guertin is the team that really has to clamp down defensively. If they let Titans have a chance to get within 3 here, they could even get within 2.
Sam McElliott driving to the basket and makes it. Beautiful turnaround floater. Sam McElliott underneath.
And here's the run for Nashua North.
A 1-score game. North was trailing by a dozen. They've cut it down to 3. Bishop Guertin has seen Nashua team come back on them twice now in a few nights. First it was South. Now it's North trying to come back all the way and tie it up. Driving. Jordan Robichaux got fouled on the way to the basket.
But I'll tell you what, Nashua North is doing it on the defensive end. And
I heard you, I think.
Yeah, but it just kind of looks like Guertin's a little bit tired, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like that to you?
I think a lot of the same guys have been out there.
Yes, they have.
For the entirety, and it's showing up a little bit. That said, Jordan Robichaux makes his free throw and makes it a 4-point game with 3:17 to go. Maybe one of those tired players getting a breather now. Dylan Santasuaso sits down. Robichaux makes both clutch free throws, and it's a 5-point lead for the Cardinals, 40-35.
With 3:17 to play. We have got ourselves a basketball game. Didn't look like we were going to for a while there.
In front of us, Spencer Lebrecht hands it off to Sam McElliott. Up top it goes. Jaden Montgomery creating some space off the glass and in.
Boy, I'll tell you, they are just getting into the paint and scoring.
Jaden Montgomery with a clutch drive. It's a 1-score game again. Robichaux kicks it in the corner. Matt Santasuaso gives it up. This is John Sullivan. Back to Matt. Santasuaso dribbles it to the top of the key. Sam McElliott.
North's got some energy.
Defending him. Now North switches off. Javari Ellison. He's got Spencer Lebrecht on him. Spencer Lebrecht and Trevor Lebrecht, a couple of brothers on North.
I thought Matt Santosuazo was going to try to take that NBA three that was way outside. Oh.
And they're going to end up not taking any shot at all. At this rate, there's a foul over the top against Guertin, and it's going to be North basketball.
They tried to get fancy. They tried to go up to the basket and pass it to the corner instead of taking the shot.
We saw that earlier when they had a big lead and they were taking a lot of time off the clock.
One pass too many.
Too many. And you get no chance at all to score that way.
And now the Titans can cut the gap to 1, or they can tie it up. My guess is they won't take a 3. They'll go right to the hoop.
Sam McElliott driving. They do go to the hoop, and he does make it. Sam McElliott for 2 makes it a 1-point game. And those who are here are being heard. North fans and the bench on their feet. 1-point game. They have a chance to get a stop and a lead here.
What a great comeback by North.
Dylan Santosuazo and the whistle. What do we have? Is it a turnover?
A timeout.
A timeout. Thought we might have had a foul away from the ball, but it's a timeout called by the Cardinals.
Let's watch the referees. I don't see I don't see the ref going over there. So
no, he just indicated who had called the timeout, and it was Bishop Guertin. So a 1-point game.
Wow.
And you were talking about me jinxing it.
Yeah, how about that?
Let's see.
Huh?
I don't know.
Well, we got odd evens here.
Yeah, we do. We're on the seesaw.
On the seesaw, so
barring
we'll
of course, the free throws are going to come into play, I would imagine. 5 fouls for the.
But North has not led.
4 fouls for Bishop.
Have they led in this game? I don't believe they have.
I'm thinking back to.
It was 2-2 for a while. I mean, I don't know who scored first. Might have been North scoring first.
They might have been up 4-2.
It was 8-4, then it was 8-8, and then Guertin has been in the lead ever since.
Ever since. Okay, you got it. Yep. Wow, it was a 10-point deficit at the start of the fourth quarter. I know that, right?
Sure was. 36-26.
So
after a 16-12 first half.
Yep.
So here we go, 1:38 to play, 40-39 in favor of Nashua, in favor of Bishop Guertin.
Guertin's gone really tentative offensively in the fourth quarter. They only have 4 points.
Right. Well, I told you, North was going to have to do it on defense, right?
Yep.
And that's what's happening.
And they've gotten some help from the Cardinals, who have seemed to play kind of prevent here in the fourth.
I think that's the defense for North. Look at this defense right now. See, they can't find anybody open, and it leads to turnovers. You get anxious, and you throw the ball away.
Tenacious defense, and a blocking foul goes against the Titans.
Yes, and they all wanted the offensive foul, but
it's a non-shooting foul, though, so no harm, really. 6 fouls against North as a team.
Right, so that's the last one they have to give.
Yep, they had one to give.
So the next one puts North at the line.
Right.
Now, BG's got to watch out. If they fall behind, they only have 14 fouls.
That's right. And so they can't put people at the line automatically.
If they fall behind.
Right.
It's helping them out right now.
Derek Finlay checks into the game for the Titans, number 45, as he guards the inbound passer.
Oh.
Dylan Santosuazo
I'll tell you what, if that ball went over the head of Sullivan, Montgomery was going to get it for a layup.
You know it.
Because he's got that burst of speed.
The Cardinals.
Oh, it was a knockdown.
What do they want? They wanted an open shot?
They wanted a foul on Espinal, I think.
Javari Ellison looking for a teammate. Finds Dylan Santosuazo. We're under a minute now in a 1-point game.
I'd say get it in the hands of Kane. This is his time. And
another timeout. Bishop Guertin wants to talk about how they're going to handle the last 49 seconds of this one. So some valuable time comes off the clock.
I'd say get it in the hands of the guy who really helped get you this lead, in Nate Kane. That's what I would do.
Okay, so Tom, you're saying if they foul one more time, obviously.
I want Kane with the ball. Yeah. So if they foul him, he's going to go to the line.
Who do we want to foul?
Because he's money.
But who do you want to foul if you're North?
If you're North, oh boy, because Guertin's very good at the foul line. Well, let's see who. I might say Ellison.
I might say 2.
I might say Ellison. He was 1 out of 2 his last trip to the line. But let's see who they bring out now. Let's see who John Fisher brings out and puts on the floor for these last 49 seconds.
Yeah, he's got Nathan Kane, Javari Ellison, Jordan Robichaux, John Sullivan, and Dylan Santos Suazo.
Boy, what a fabulous.
I don't know.
It's not very well played.
I know Kane is a great free throw shooter. You don't want to foul him.
No, but that's why if I'm BG, I want Kane with the ball.
And maybe
got away with almost a backcourt. Almost.
Yeah. And there's a clean steal by Curtis Harris. He's going to go to the hoop, and he puts it in. Yep. And North has the lead by 1. A valiant effort to get back on defense by Jordan Robichaux. He hit the deck hard, but Curtis Harris beat him to the hoop. And it's a 41-40 North lead with 27 seconds left. What do you have underneath? What's the call?
Could be a jump, and the arrow goes to North.
The arrow goes to North is right on the jump ball. Whoa, the defense has been the story for North here in the fourth quarter.
They're going to have to play defense in that quarter to get back in the game, and they've done just that.
You certainly said it. It's one thing to say it, though, and one thing to do it to a T the way that they have. Or I should say to a D.
And see now, Guertin's fouling because now with 24.8 left, they have to get the limit up. They're only at 5 team fouls, so
they have to foul twice more.
Twice more to get North to the line.
To get that strategy into effect where they get the ball back after a foul or get the other team to the line after a foul.
So there you go. The call, Curtis Harris stole the ball.
That's awesome play.
How about that? What a play.
He didn't need to foul anybody. He just got into the passing lane.
I mean, they had them trapped a little bit.
He did.
You know, I mean, and Guertin panicked. See, they did not execute the inbounds very well.
No.
You know, the best way to execute that inbounds is if you can get it to the middle of the floor so you don't run out of room. See, they backed themselves into a corner, and it's a great job defensively. North forced that.
Yeah.
Great defense by Nashua North in this quarter. Hey, these games are supposed to get you ready for the tournament.
This one certainly has, I think.
So let's see how it works out.
Quite a tune-up. 41-40, North on their home court.
Remember, there is no shot clock in New Hampshire basketball, and even if there was, it would be turned off right now.
So, Tom, if you're going to lead the game only one time in the game, might as well do it at the very, very end.
So where do you do it, right?
And that's the case here. North leading by 1 with 23.9 seconds to go.
So now one more foul.
That is.
Are they in the one-on-one?
They are not yet in the one-on-one. You called it. That was number 6 right there.
Yep. One more foul.
So, of course, Bishop Guertin does the smart thing. They waste no time in committing their 6th team foul. And I'm sure they're going to commit another one here. No, Curtis Harris gets free. Got to take it to the basket.
I know, he could.
That was a decision that he made, and they're going to call a foul, Javari Ellison. Or he could have went in the corner and hid for about 5 seconds because he was so by himself there. But that would have given North a 3-point lead had he chose to go to the basket. In fact, he might have drawn a foul if he went and shot. He would have ended up in the line one way or the other.
One way or the other,
yeah.
Right, but now North with the one-on-one with 18.1 seconds left and a 1-point lead.
So taking the free throws for North will be Spencer Lebrecht. He is a senior. And he makes the clutch free throw, the 1-and-1.
Oh, it had a little body language on it, little English. Got to dip right down.
Makes it, Tom. Tom, he makes it a 2-point game. We're not on the seesaw anymore, so, hopefully he makes his other one here. You never know. And no, it's a rebound. John Sullivan's
Guertin's got to hurry up. They've got to put some points up.
They need at least 2 to tie.
No timeout here.
Almost poked away. Jaden Espinal playing some tight defense.
You need Kane to touch the
7
ball.
seconds, 6, 5, up and in. It's a basket.
My.
Dylan Santos Suazo ties it at 42. Long shot. Harris.
No.
And what? Guess what?
Yeah.
Guess
what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Overtime. Overtime.
Yeah. What did I tell you? Huh? You spoke too soon.
I certainly did.
Spoke too soon.
That happens way too much.
It happens to you way too much. That's the thing.
It happens to me way too much. You're right. Checking into the girls game. I'm watching the live stream from the highlight guy, and Bishop Guertin comfortably ahead. Get the score check in a moment. But this game is going OT. They waste no time to come right back out onto the court. A fresh 4 minutes up on the scoreboard.
What a clutch shot by Santa Suazo. He drove the lane and knocked it in.
Certainly was, yeah.
That ball doesn't go in. We walk out of here.
It's curious how that is able to happen in crunch time. They made it almost look easy how quickly they got that basket, and yet for the previous 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, it was a struggle.
I think the situation there is no one wants to foul, you know?
Yeah. So they backed off a little bit.
So here we go. 4 minutes.
4 minutes to go, and it'll be Guertin basketball to begin the overtime period. They just got 2 to tie it. They could go ahead here on this possession as John Sullivan dribbles to his left, hands it off to Dylan Santasuaso. Jaden Espinal covering him tightly. Curtis Harris following Nathan Kane. Kane got loose.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. If you're Guertin, you wanted Kane with the ball. You know, he hadn't scored since the third quarter.
2 points for Nathan Kane in overtime. Curtis Harris throws it away, deflected by Bishop Guertin out of bounds. So the Cardinals disagree.
Yeah, no, they don't. Sullivan says you're right. I did it.
Oh, Sullivan admitted it.
Yeah, he did. Yep. Yeah. He admitted it. He owned up to it. He fessed up. You wouldn't have. I know that. You would have said no. It's the baseball player in you. It's the baseball player in you.
Yeah.
Baseball players never tell the truth to an umpire.
Yeah, they try to sell things, right? That didn't even happen. Foul tips and whatnot.
Yep, exactly.
Jaden Espinal outside. North needs 2 to tie.
McGillian wants to drive on Baker. He could probably take him if he's got the speed, but no.
Baker closes off the pass.
Here's the kid who could take it, right here.
Jaden Espinal to the basket, got fouled on the way through.
That's Montgomery, Jordan Montgomery.
Jaden Montgomery, I'm sorry. Yep.
Jaden Montgomery.
Switch the names for a moment. 2 speedy guards out there for North have been so effective all night.
He's the one. He can take it on the fly. He's got that speed off the dribble.
And swish. Jaden Montgomery hits the first of 2.
And he hits his free throws.
The key thing in crunch time. 1 point game now. Jaden Montgomery can tie it with 3:06 remaining in OT. He does. Knotted up at 44. Dylan Santasuaso, Jaden Espinal.
No.
What a play.
Yeah, he's going to go for it anywhere.
Yeah.
He sees ball, he goes after ball. This is football mentality.
And BG having to work to get this ball in this time. Fairly easy flip to John Sullivan.
Yep, 3 minutes to go. Can someone hit an outside shot here? That's the one thing I'm looking for.
It might be the difference in the game in the end if somebody can do it. Lucas Baker has an opportunity, just daring him to. Kane saves it. John Sullivan bounce pass. Santasuaso gets clobbered.
What a pass by Sullivan. Behind the back.
Yeah.
Fancy pass. Now Santasuaso is going to have to hit his free throws. And back and forth they go.
In a game that's tied at 44. 2:45 remaining here in the overtime period. I think he said it's a 1-and-1. This would be allowed.
No, he's just in the act of shooting.
You're right. So the first is missed. It's still tied at 44. Substitutions.
That's a big miss.
BG with the lead, 45-44. Dylan Santasuaso hits 1 of 2. Spencer Lebrecht gives it back to Curtis Harris on the wing. Jaden Montgomery with his head up looking for an opening. Cross court. Sam McElliott to his left, turnaround and double team, finds Montgomery wide open, and foul called against Lucas Baker, and you can see.
Yes, Baker.
He thought he got all ball.
Baker thought he got all ball.
Shaking his head.
I think he got a little bit of the body, don't you? I think he did.
He did. Yeah. He got a lot of ball, but he got some body, and that's what he got called for.
But again,
he's discussing it in a civil manner with the
again, who
official.
got open inside? McElliott with the vision, sees his man, Montgomery, and boom, this kid is having a heck of a game.
I hate to say it, because he's money with these free throws. Now he's going to miss this one. But
you just don't want to put this kid at the line, that's for sure. And you don't want to let him beat you off the dribble because he can do it.
Seems like his free throws make the same sound at the end, the thwip of the net cords. Net goes in and out, junked him. Over the top, Sam McElliott got called. He's like, I got all ball, though.
Yeah, I don't agree with the call. I think he played it pretty well.
Yeah.
If you're Ellison, you've got to body him out.
Yeah, he didn't. He just stood there.
Ellison's got the longer reach, and he just needs to body him out, and he wasn't able to do it. So, but they get the benefit of the call. But the missed free throw, thanks to John Collins, keeps us tied. Telling you, there's a lot to blame you for tonight.
Oh boy. 45-45 is the score. Javari Ellison, the guy that we suggested maybe that North should foul at the end of the fourth quarter.
See how smart we look. Pretty smart.
Yeah, Sam McElliott rebound. Down court come the Titans. Chance to take the lead here. 45 all. 2:15 to go. Jaden Montgomery with those ankle-breaking moves.
I think he should have taken it. I think he had it. I think this kid can get it anytime he wants.
Agree. Harris lost it up in the air. Jump ball. Nice bat behind his back to Spencer Lebrecq. Hits the cutting brother.
And we got a foul somewhere.
Trevor Lebrecq, and you're right. In the maze of bodies that confronted us over here in the corner, it was hard to see who committed that foul. But the net result is that Trevor Lebrecq is at the line with 2:02 remaining, chance to give his team the lead. As we play bonus basketball here at North.
Does it?
And that one rattles in, so North does have the lead back by one.
Did that seem like a late whistle to you on that shot by Lebrecq? He shot it right in the paint, didn't he? And the ball was bouncing around, and they called a foul. I don't know. We didn't see the foul, so.
Right.
But North with a chance to take a 2-point lead. And they do.
Trevor Lebrecq nails both free throws.
Money from the line. He's got a three-pointer earlier, and now he's got those 2 free throws.
It looks like Steve Lane checks his best defensive unit, and it's just a throwaway by the Cardinals. Dylan Santasuaso was throwing it in to Jordan Robichaux, and I don't know, Robichaux just kind of short-armed it a little bit, and it went out of bounds. So it's Titans ball, and a big opportunity here to take a 2-score lead with this inbounds play. Curtis Harris will throw it away.
Yep.
Nathan Kane was the only one near it. Santasuaso layup drill, and it's tied at 47. Under 2 minutes to go. And now I just think I am finally seeing both teams tire a little bit. McElliott.
I know, Santasuaso certainly had plenty of energy to run down the floor.
Yeah, you're right. You know? He did. You're right.
Defensively, that's where they're tired. They've had to play a lot of defense. Oh!
Look at that shot by Spencer Lebrecq, the senior for North.
What a shot. A three.
A three-pointer out of nowhere. I mean, we just haven't seen anybody try one of those in seemingly forever. And Spencer Lebrecq, not an easy shot. He was sprinting from his right to left, and he put the brakes on and nails it. Bishop Guertin, and that's a travel. He just fell. What do we have for a call? Jump ball?
North, I believe, right?
All right, maybe it was a jump ball. North ball, you're right on the arrow.
Yep.
So it's in effect.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he's calling it. Yep. Brad Zepenis puts both thumbs in the air, and that gives North the basketball with 1:07 left.
Yep, so they'll be inbounding it underneath their own
And now Guertin's going to have to foul.
Yeah, timeout's called by the Cardinals to talk some strategy over there. So a fortuitous turn of events for North.
I tell you, I think...
You said the long shot. Who's going to hit the outside shot,
Who's going to hit the outside shot?
If I told you it was going to be Spencer Lebrecq from NBA distance, you might have been surprised.
Either him or Trevor, they can hit from the outside. But Guertin on offense, in my mind, has not gotten the ball in the hands of number 14, Nathan Kane. I think that needed to be done a lot more. In fact, I would have Kane handle the ball as a guard. I would have him bring it up. He's probably the smartest player they have. And in this situation, that's what I would do. And if you're North, they just got a bunch of gamers. They really do.
There's your star of the game over at Bishop Guertin, number 23.
Is that that's I'm not sure who that is.
I should know that.
Yeah, I should too. I've seen a bunch of their games. John Fisher yelling something, yelling to have. Oh, they go look for the breakaway.
Here come the Titans leading by 3. Chance to make it a 2-score game with this possession. Although they might be trying to take some time off the clock. All the way to the basket goes McElliott in the corner.
Yeah, they're just taking time off it now.
Had an opportunity to go to the hoop if he wanted, but he gets fouled by Matt Santosuaso. To the line will go Sam McElliott. Subject of one of the preview articles that Tom has written this season, and taking the place of Nathan Kane, a lot of the playing time when Nathan went to Bishop Guertin.
He has really played well this year.
Struggled a little bit on that shot, but still has a chance to make it a 2-score game if he can hit this one. Swish, 51-47. The Titans lead with 50 seconds to go. Pressure's on Guertin to score in this possession.
Yeah, they can't take much time to do it either.
Swing it outside. Kane runs it to Harris, and we got a blocking foul against Curtis, and to the line will go Nathan Kane.
And again, that's why I'd want Kane with the ball in his hands.
Yep. Pressure on Nathan Kane now to make free throws. Substitutions. Jaden Espinal will get a breather, and into the game comes Spencer Lebrecq.
2 shots.
Down 4. Goes without saying, these are big free throws for Nathan Kane. He's very good from the line. 1-score game, 51-48. And another time. How many timeouts do you get?
I'm not sure.
In overtime.
In overtime, I think you get 3. I'm not sure. 3 or 2.
An extra 3?
Maybe 2. Maybe
how
2.
About 1?
I don't know if it depends on how many you've used in a game.
Maybe it does, yeah.
Now, an interesting substitution. They bring Spencer Lebrecq back into the game, number 35, on the offense-defense swap. So you can almost hear John Fisher or Steve Lane talking to their players from here with the quiet tone in the gym. 39.6 seconds to play, 51-48 in favor of Nashua North. And the Cardinals with a 10-point lead going into the quarter, and North just clamped down defensively. And then got the big outside shot for the go-ahead hoop, tie-breaking hoop by Spencer Lebrecq.
So we'll see how this 39 seconds play out.
I believe those are his only points of the game. Came with 1:32 to play.
After one more free throw from Nathan Kane. And he hits them both. Clutch free throws for Nate, and it is a 2-point game, 51-49.
And I believe this will be a foul shooting contest the rest of the way.
North, 33 seconds to go. Trying to take care of the basketball. McElliott's going to the line.
McElliott knew he was going to be fouled. BG was trying to see if they'd get the jump ball, but they didn't quite get it. So.
Yeah, Nate was trying to get his hands on the ball without committing the foul, actually, but they're going to say McElliott goes to the line with 30 seconds to go. You're right, it's just a parade to the free throw line at this point.
Ooh, and And now we get a one-score game when Guertin gets the ball back one way or the other.
Yep. And I am hoping for a decision one way or the other, Tom, or you're going to be finishing this game by yourself, unfortunately. I want to see the outcome now. Let's see if somebody can hit a shot here down the stretch. It's a three-point game. Bishop Guertin may need a three. Pressure's on them to score on this possession once again. Almost losing the handle.
Where's Kane?
20 seconds to go.
There he is.
Guertin, Dylan Santasuaso with the fadeaway. Doesn't get the bounce. And a well-timed leap by Sam McElliott. Montgomery, dangerous cross-course pass, but they will find Espinal who gets fouled.
That's going to do it, I think.
8 seconds to go.
The only thing that's going to work for Guertin now is a miss by Espinal. Two misses by Espinal
and a three-pointer
and a almost a desperation three because they got to get the rebound and bring it down the floor fast.
Right.
But we've seen teams do that before.
Yeah, and I would imagine Kane's going to take it if it gets down to that. But all Jaden Espinal needs to do is not that.
No.
Oh boy. Nothing's easy. Nothing is easy.
It's called high school.
Timeout.
It's called high school boys basketball. Very competitive when you get these two teams playing each other.
Yep.
Well, Espinal will.
8 seconds to go.
Yeah, we'll have some time, and then John Fisher with a plan to get this team down the floor fast. He's got to find an opening to get the ball up the court and then toss up a three. Whether or not you're down 4 or whether you're down 3, you need the three-pointer, and then you need the quick foul. Can you do it all in 8 seconds? I don't know. And if you're North, you got to like your chances right now. What a great defensive job by the Titans to basically, in the third quarter and overtime, so we're talking 12 minutes, hold this Guertin team to 13 points.
Free throws. One free throw remaining for Jaden Espinal.
Make it a 2-score game.
Could take some drama out of it here.
And he does.
And he hits it. And now Titans just don't want to foul. When Kane's going to go right to the basket.
To the basket. Now they're going to try to foul. And I don't think they're going to have the time. Yep, there you go.
Oh boy, the game every bit as close as the final score indicates. North comes from behind, down 10 at the end of the third quarter, and the Titans win it on their home floor, 53-51. The big basket late, Spencer Lebrecht with a three, and that ends up being a difference maker in the game. Tom King, just a terrific Friday night basketball game.
Fabulous game, John, fabulous.
For Tom King, my cameraman Tim O'Neill, and our executive producer Pete Johnson, thank you for watching. Our final score, a 51-49 victory for the Titans of Nashua North. Just a hard-fought basketball game and a great possible playoff preview. We'll have to see what happens Monday night when South takes on Bishop Guertin. I'll say good night from Nashua High North, everybody, and thank you for watching Nashua ETV.